Sling TV has something for everyone. It really just depends on what kind of mood you're in. But no matter what you're looking for, you can watch it with Sling. Sports, news, and today's hottest shows. Plus, you can explore thousands of movies and shows on demand. And getting Sling is easy. Sign up and start watching in just 5 minutes. Stream on any device and record up to 50 hours with your included DVR space. Plus, you won't get locked into a long-term contract. Check out sling.com for special offers. Sling, the TV you love for a price you'll love. Try it today. Welcome to the Andy Staples Show presented by Sling. I'm here. Ari's here. Nicole is here. It is time to pick the games against the spread, guys. And we got some interesting numbers this week. I was going down this list and it was pretty fascinating. The lines here, Vegas does not have a ton of faith in TCU or USC this week.
Who would have thought?
But look, I thought that the TCU performance against Texas might have given the folks in Vegas some faith, but apparently not.
Yeah. Listen, someone's got to be a TCU hater. The selection committee is all in with the Frogs now. They're in the top 4. True. Someone's got to be providing that chip on the shoulder.
Yeah, well, it's there for sure.
There's going to be a lot of chips going the other way on the bets too. Just I got news for you. I think that I read somewhere that 73% of the action at the beginning of the week was on UCLA, and I wonder what it would be on Baylor. But those lines aren't moving very much.
Yeah, Ari, have you recovered from Maction the other night?
Okay. Well, I did hit a Maction bet on Wednesday night. That cut into it was an under, actually. It was the Kent State,
the snow game,
Eastern Michigan under. No, I wasn't.
Oh, the other one, the Cole Hewlett game.
Yeah, it was the total was 60, and I think it finished at 55. So, that game on Tuesday was really gut wrenching, and I'm actually thankful I was on the podcast because if I were at home alone, it would have been much worse. The baby would have woken up again. I would have screamed. Britt and I would have gotten into a fight. I was here. Everyone's laughing at me, and it kind of helped me just calm down a little bit.
It was tremendous content. Nicole, though,
yes,
I told Ari this morning, one of our commenters, Claire, in the live stream the other night, said that Ari and I should start an OnlyFans. And I'm not going to lie. We might have spent the morning going over our potential OnlyFans business plan. And I think we figured it out. I think it's Ari loses at gambling, which is great content, obviously. And then his wife yells at him for losing at gambling. Because that's a fetish people really are into.
Why
having a beautiful woman yell at a man.
Yeah.
This could just be,
if you pay extra,
this could
you
just
can
be
watch
on this YouTube.
You pay a little extra and you get to watch her kick me with high heels on. It's perfect.
I think there's a market.
I would pay for that, but I think you could just do all of this on the Andy Staples show YouTube feed. I don't see why this would need to be on OnlyFans.
And I don't want to act like I don't have an OnlyFans account, and I never paid for OnlyFans
yet.
But OnlyFans, the name, is it only for not safe for work adult entertainment, or what if we just have fans that want to watch our podcast?
I think you could do anything.
It doesn't have to be sexual, does it?
Probably like Patreon. Yeah, I think you should just do anything.
What if we had a Patreon like the Solid Verbal guys, except we used OnlyFans to host it?
I see no problem with that.
Why don't you just put it on Patreon at that point? You can just put videos behind a paywall.
Because I want people to think there's something behind. I mean, if there's something sinister about
you want to say find me on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Dudes everywhere.
Ass Jews.
Basically, the conversation started with me asking Ari if we created an OnlyFans called Dudes Everywhere, how disappointed would the people who would typically seek out an OnlyFans called Dudes Everywhere be?
Everyone, 100% of the people who found that, who search engine, whatever the search function is in OnlyFans, everyone would be disappointed with you. It would just be in total disaster. But my point is, you're talking about things that already exist. You can just have a YouTube channel. You can just have an Instagram feed that has these things and build a following. It doesn't have to be an OnlyFans.
Look at the comments and let's just move on from this. I can't do this anymore.
Which movie is it? Is it the 40-Year-Old Virgin, or is it Knocked Up, when they say, "Oh, so you're trying to create Mr. Skin?" And they're like, "What?"
Yeah,
it already exists.
yeah. All right, Michael, we'll catch you off air. We'll just we'll
You people in the chat know way too much about this, but we almost got actual video on this feed of my wife yelling at me after we reacted to Ari losing all that money because I made so much noise. She almost came in and screamed me on the podcast.
Super hurtful about that was how much fun you guys were having too, knowing what was happening to me.
That was my favorite part.
Like Sam Khan at the end of the movie or at the end of the clip was like, "Oh my god, that was amazing!" Like
that
it was just
amazing.
a kid that just like got the thing he wanted for Christmas. Like, Sam, I'm in physical and emotional pain over here.
You made his day, week, month, year. That should bring you joy as well.
It was amazing.
You got to root with the boys, Sam. Come on, you're on my side of things here.
No, we were very much on the side of the guy breaking tackles.
Yeah, and also just in general, like if you're gonna bet on Maction, you really have no idea how that is ever gonna go. I'm not gonna feel bad for you. You know the risk.
Yeah. So, like, exactly. Let's take Wednesday night for example. Last week, Bert Emanuel Jr. bursts on the scene for Central Michigan. He gains like 280 yards on the ground. He broke a big one last night too, but it was in like 2 feet of snow, so there were not going to be that many big runs.
But are you two the types of people who would go to dinner with me to a sports bar, know that I have action on a game, and then like get excited when the other side does something good?
I would get excited for both things. I would get excited for your dreams getting crushed and your dreams getting
because in my friend group, you get your ass kicked doing something like that.
I could kick all of your friends' asses.
But I think it would depend on the circumstance because like I know I have friends who will sometimes bet against their team just so that like if they are right, then they make money even though their team lost. And then if they're wrong, they're happy because their team won. So like they're trying to have a win-win both ways. I said it backwards.
Right.
But I just like everybody rides together with my friends.
So they're hedging their emotions essentially.
They're hedging their emotions, if not money. And then also, I think it would depend on my personal rooting interest in the game that you had, or if you were rooting for like a specific spread, or like we always do the Iowa total, right? And we go over under. Like I will root for that with you. I will root for something like
it's just very simple.
Quirky.
The group chat's name is called Ride with Your Friends is what it's called because everybody rides the same side.
Isn't that cute?
So you all bet the same on a game so that you're all rooting together?
There have been times where I don't bet the other side of something that I like because I don't want to root against my friend.
Well, you guys are really too good of friends. Like, do you guys not bust each other's chops? Like,
I mean, we do if somebody loses and it costs everybody money. I mean, it's a male group chat, but like I don't know. There's no asshole in our group chat that's like,
the thing you just said we can't do.
After it's over, but while it's happening, we're all on the same side.
It sounds like they were celebrating after it happened as well.
I don't want to go to dinner with somebody if I'm on a side and then the other team scores and they go, yes, haha. Like that would be awful.
No, I reserve the right to bust your balls at any time. Like, yes. There should be no moratorium on ball busting. Like during
all
the
of
game.
these,
I should be able to bust on you anytime.
All of these conversations just remind me what a poignant observation it was from college football playoff executive director Bill Hancock calling you a degenerate and breaking like a Twitter hiatus to respond to you about your betting. Really just remarkable. I mean, like he figured out who you were so quickly and he just nailed it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hide it. It's kind of out there. But
you were at first you were offended by it, but then now you've embraced it.
I was just kind of blindsided by it, but now now that I kind of get to know him a little bit better, that's the kind of guy he is. He was kidding with me.
Okay,
but yeah.
So we say that, but it's not true. Like, no, they don't look at point spreads. Yes, they clearly look at the same advanced rankings that casinos use to make the line.
Every single time you make an argument about the playoff of like, who do you think would win? Who would win in a head-to-head matchup? Who do you think would win? That's literally looking ahead when you're not supposed to.
You're exactly right. Clearly they do. Like where Texas was ranked before they lost to TCU, where Notre Dame is ranked. It's almost like the ass clown rankings. Like,
wait, I have a question. One of the comments that we're getting in our YouTube right now is, have you ever been on a team, like a team sport?
My first year on the Ohio State football beat, I asked Jim Tressel a question in a post-game news conference at Iowa, and it really flustered him and made him angry. And he goes, "You've clearly never played football before," like in the most condescending way that Tressel was able to be, given his temperament. And I've just been like, yeah, I played high school football, but I don't think I would need to play high school football to know that Terrell Pryor yelling at your face in front of everybody right before halftime is inappropriate. So, yes, I'm very aware. Like if my group chat got exposed, people, that would be it for me. The amount of rigor that we have for each other, but yeah. I like to gamble on the same side as my friends. And we had a fantasy football draft in Vegas this year, and all of us took the entire fantasy football buy-in money and bet it on LSU against Florida State. And it's a pretty expensive league, and we all lost together. And when you win together and cheer together, it's amazing.
The esprit du corps. So is anybody on the our What to Watch For presented by Sling game, which is USC at UCLA? USC a 2.5-point favorite. I'd say on the road, but it's just sort of over the hill. More
my mind is telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. I think it's the opposite of that. Like my mind is telling me that USC is probably going to win, like in my mind, but my heart knows what's going to happen. We've seen this movie 1,000 times. UCLA is going to run shit through them. They're going to win the game, and the Pac-12 is going to be eliminated from the playoff. Like that's what's going to happen. But UCLA is down in the dumps. They're a little bit banged up. USC is getting healthy. Jordan Addison, all the good stuff. You would think that USC is a better football team. What?
Well, except Travis Dye.
Well, except Travis Dye. That stinks. Yeah.
But they are getting the receivers back.
They're getting their receivers back. And I think that you would say that USC is probably at least 1 point better enough to win. I would never bet this game before it starts. And if I had to, I'd probably pick USC because I think they're a better football team. But history has shown time and time again what happens in the Pac-12. It's like, on one hand, UCLA constantly takes a dump every single time they're in a position like this. They did last week against Arizona, and this game still matters because they could theoretically play in the Pac-12 championship game.
They took their dump.
I know, but this one could be like flushing the toilet. Like, I mean, this one ends.
But that was the one that mattered for them. Like, they're not playing for.
Do you think that a rivalry with the Pac-12 championships on the line potentially?
I just think USC is going to have 3 different opportunities to lose the game and knock the Pac-12 out of the playoff. I don't think it's going to be this one. I do think it's going to be an insanely high scoring game, incredibly fun. There's just so much skill all over the place. It's going to come down to one of these defenses making like 2 consecutive stops. That's what it's going to come down to.
Is that even going to happen? That reminds me, the number in this game, 76.5. I say over.
76.5. Wow.
You know how much scoring has to happen to get to that number?
Yeah,
no, it will though. It will. Have you watched?
Hit it on Wake Forest, North Carolina.
North Carolina and Wake Forest scored on every other possession for 3 quarters, and they still didn't get there.
Yeah, but you've seen these defenses, right?
Yeah, sure, I have. I do.
They're literally built to not stop the other offense.
You don't have to explain to me that both of these teams are going to score a lot. I get that, but like the number's really high. Like I think that there's a stat out there that numbers over 70 are like 2 and 13 this year.
Well, there's a third time for everything.
So you guys, who are you on?
I'm taking UCLA.
I'm taking
USC.
I'm taking UCLA.
All right, Nicole.
I think it ends this week.
Look at I wore this on purpose.
You guys are fighting on. They are, by the way, they are, for those of you who are listening and not watching, they're doing the thing that the girl Ari dated years and years ago did in every Instagram photo, which is it's sort of like a peace sign around the eye. Peace sign
sideways that we've decided
to fight
means
on
with that like Miley Cyrus.
It's hideous. I have no idea why anyone would do this. She was not, but
yes, Ari has sent. Ari
was going through a phase that she probably regrets. So
it was like it was the duck face,
It was the
photo
thing back with college
era.
girls back in 2000.
It
So
was. No, but no, I'm taking USC. I think that, okay, so to me, when I'm not sure on a game, I go with what is the most interesting potential outcome. Most interesting potential outcome to me is USC winning the Pac-12. Being a one-loss Pac-12 champion, possibly, and at that point, if they win the next 3 games, whoever they play in the Pac-12 championship, USC is in the playoff. I am convinced of this. I don't know why people are debating this.
And winning this game also
Andy's debating it.
I am debating it. They'll take Tennessee. But winning this game also makes USC Notre Dame very, very interesting next week. And if USC loses, it's not.
I just want the 4th and final spot to come down to 1-loss conference champ USC and 1-loss Tennessee.
I agree.
That's all I want.
too. I think that's the most interesting potential outcome that we could possibly have heading into Selection Sunday. So I want that to happen. So I need USC to do this.
That's exactly why they're going to lose on Saturday.
I know it's probably true, but here's the thing. Of all the teams that are like in the mix for the playoff, no one has exactly the path that USC does, where these are all their signature wins. They're all in front of them. All the big games are now. They don't have any. This is the point.
With some recency bias there, I think could help persuade it too. Listen,
but it's also
I got $1,000 on this. How am I going to fade USC right now? I just know what's going to happen.
No, but Ari, it's not just recency bias. The system is set up that a 1-loss Power 5 champion should be in a really good position to make the playoff. Like that's how it's set up. Conference championship is a tiebreaker. You're supposed to be. I mean, in this situation,
except that it never actually has been.
But it's supposed to be. It was set up to reward that type of thing.
I don't care what you say. I only care what you do and what they've done.
So tells
Andy, me what they're gonna do.
Andy, if
keep fighting the good fight, Nicole. I did this a few episodes ago, and Mike.
Okay, well, I'm not giving it up just yet. Andy, if Clemson wins out and is a 1-loss ACC champ, but has lost to Notre Dame, and USC wins out and USC beats Notre Dame, are you saying that common opponent would be ignored? Because that's also a tiebreaker.
Well, no, that's one they actually don't ignore. The other one they have ignored.
I'm just saying these are listed as criteria for tiebreakers.
I know, and they have ignored it almost every time.
Andy is saying is that it's not going to be viewed as a tie.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
they're just going to say it wasn't a tie. That's all.
They can say whatever they want.
You don't think where USC is right now in the top 10, which are they at 7 or are they at 8 right now?
They're at 7.
7?
Yeah.
7 without a signature win. You don't think with 3 more signature wins and a conference championship that they would be either
the
right
question
even
is, do
with
you think
Tennessee
that
or
beating
above?
UCLA,
all they're going to decide in that situation, if they're trying to decide between Tennessee and USC, is who do they think would win if they played? That's it.
But let me ask you this, Andy. If USC beats UCLA this weekend, beats Notre Dame, and then beats Oregon, with those collection of 3 consecutive wins,
I think
that be more impressive than what Tennessee's resume has to offer to you?
Yes.
I think it would be close. I don't think it would be more impressive.
So if it's close, we could envision
the
that
tie should go to the conference champion.
If it's close,
but
then we have a fake tie, then it goes to the conference champion.
But it doesn't.
It's supposed to.
And if they played, the line would be Tennessee -7.5 or -8.
I'll tell you one thing right now, Andy. If Tennessee gets chosen in that scenario over USC, and then USC doesn't make the playoff because in year 3 of our wonderful bet, they're in the Big Ten, I'm going to pay you in pennies in a wheelbarrow.
Okay. It spends the same, buddy.
Andy, or Ari, I thought you were going to say something noble there, like they need to expand the playoff the next day.
No, I would never say that.
It's about
he doesn't want to.
You want to know why they don't expand? Because neither of those teams are good enough to win the national title, so I don't give a crap who gets left out.
I'm sorry, but Ari, do you not think that if you did Stu on our site, on The Athletic, has a mock of what the 12 team would look like? You got multiple Pac-12 teams. That league is rewarded for the growth that there has been, the development that there has been, that the top half of that league is better. That's not good for college football? That
you like all of the teams for their development.
All of the teams that are allowed to play for
if you can't be Clemson and ascend from mediocrity to the ultimate heights,
but every
Clemson is sustained success.
But every single team that is in the Pac-12 that's still in the running for a Pac-12 championship would still be in the running for the 12-team college football playoff.
I know, because the
that's
college
so much
football
more
playoff,
interesting.
when it's
That's
expanded,
so much
is
more
going
interesting
to allow
here.
mediocre teams to participate. All the teams that are still alive technically in the Pac-12 have a dog shit defense.
You see what I've been dealing with for the last month and a
I
half.
think there's two separate arguments. It's like, would it be entertaining? Of course it would be. Are people going to watch? Of course they're going to watch.
Ari, what is this?
I know.
What
it's
is
the same
what is
arguments
point
over
of
and
the
over again. I
enterprise?
know. Yeah.
It is an
But also,
entertainment
Ari,
product.
do you watch March Madness?
Yeah.
Or you
After I
do
ignore
just
the
fill out a
regular
bracket
season, I
that's
do.
talk and then
I don't
just-
fill out a bracket, but I gamble on the games.
But what's the point though if you know that a 16 seed, 15 seed, 14 seed, 10 seed, all these teams that you don't think they're going to win the national championship?
I think it's the worst
Is it-
tournament in determining a national champion in sports. And
Ari,
I
do
think
you
that we're
watch- do you watch
supposed to be
the NFL regular season.
Yeah.
Do you watch the NFL playoffs?
Yeah, of course.
There you go. We're done here. All right, moving on.
Thank you.
TCU.
I always watch all of it. I watch badminton.
Yeah,
if
you've
I've got
just
cash
you've
on it.
just
Like, what-
you've just answered.
do you
the
watch
question.
badminton's regular season? Yeah, I do. Okay, moving on.
TCU at Baylor. These lines and totals presented by BetMGM.
Nicole, I'll come on your show next week and we can do it, me and you.
Oh God.
Okay, fine. I just
you
I
wanna
would like a
continue this.
function. I kind of want like a, you know, when you watch like Around the Horn and they have like the mute
The mute,
button.
yes.
I want the ability to mute Ari next time we have a conversation.
About that.
Yeah.
Or Ole.
Okay. Hold on. One more from Matthew C. Y'all are forgetting 2014. Ohio State had the 13th data point over TCU. USC will have the 13th data point over Tennessee. Boom. No. Do you know what happened in 2014? The committee goes, you know who would kick the crap out of TCU and Baylor? Ohio State. That's why they're number 4. That's it. That's what happened.
You have to admit, because somebody just said, Ari is Abe Simpson screaming at the sky. There is a groundswell of support from my side. Like, to completely ignore.
No, there's like a tiny vocal minority on the
Go read
internet.
the comments
It was
of the
a
story.
tiny vocal minority. These are just
Yeah.
the people who have been upset that the thing is
fellow
expanding.
Abe Simpsons were like, finally, there's another idiot who agrees with me. So
Thank you. Thank you.
I feel like I'm the only person on the face of the earth that thinks the playoff should crown the national champion, and that's its only purpose.
it's not. It's
Ari,
not even
but
its
going
purpose.
to a 12, but it's not. It's not. There's a point of making the thing and then playing and seeing what happens. But Ari, a 12-team playoff gives you even more of a cushion that you're not going to accidentally leave out the best team in the country, which you possibly could do if you're
Trust
only
me, Nicole.
picking 4 teams.
It's not happening. It doesn't happen now, and that doesn't happen.
But I'm saying,
can
but
barely
you're
get
saying
4
the first
most years.
you're saying the first year we almost did though, right?
What?
If Ohio State was not included, would the best team in the country have not played for a national championship?
I mean, they were not even close to not being included, but yeah,
They were number 4. They were actually
No, I know, but there
almost
was-
not included.
they were going to be included. I bet you that was the easiest conversation they've ever had.
I'm sure it was. I'm
Yeah.
sure it was. Who do you think would win this game if TCU and Ohio State played? Who do you
but
think
the
would win this
point-
game if Baylor and Ohio State?
The point there is that if you go like the wiggle room, the reason that 4 matters, the 4th spot matters, is because what if you miss the team that's actually the best team in the country and they had some weird loss in the beginning of the season or someone was unavailable, whatever it might be. You're not going to miss the best team in the country in a 12-team playoff, and it's going to be more entertaining along the way. And we'd be talking about like 30-something teams that
But
still had a
your-
path to the playoff right now.
Your premise,
Full music to my
Okay,
ears.
I'm
your
sorry.
premise to
Okay.
this, your premise to this though is that by making sure that we don't miss out on the best team, that one year the 7th seed that we would have missed out on is going to win the national title.
My
and it's
premise to this
never
is
going to
it's
happen.
more fun,
ever.
more entertaining,
Ever.
a better television product. You'll love it. Everyone will love it better. I'm going
That's
to laugh
fine.
at
If
all
that's
of
your
you who didn't
argument-
think this was a good idea because it is, and you're all.
That's fine
going
if
to
it's
feel
your
bad.
argument. Don't try to sell me on it's a more thorough way to crown a national
This,
I
champion.
don't
'cause
care.
that's
this
not
is
true.
why we. This is right. This is why we need the mute button. Okay, we can go back to picking the games.
All right, picking the games. TCU at Baylor. It's like 2014 all over again. No, this
Speaking
time,
of these teams,
Let's.
this time it will not.
This
decide
time the
the-
loser actually doesn't matter. Yeah, you're right.
I guess it didn't decide the Big
It
12
didn't, yeah.
championship that time either
Yeah.
because they did not crown one, even though anyone who
One
understands
true
how sports work.
champion.
Yeah, that was the motto of the conference that year. And then they're like,
One true
we had a
champion.
round robin and everybody played, and the 2 teams finished with the same conference record and one beat the other. But we won't say that Baylor's the actual champ, even though we know they are.
Hey, Andy and
Yo.
Nicole, do you think TCU is going to get clipped before the end of the year?
I don't know. I thought maybe
I feel like
until
it
I
would
saw
have
that game last
happened.
week.
Yeah, that's where I am too. I think there was a stretch in the middle of the season where we were just expecting it, right? Like any given week, they were having all these dramatic comebacks. They felt a little fluky at times, right? Because at some point, they're just going to fall behind and not be able to do this. But if they go on, so the question now, I think, is which loss could they survive if they lose? I think it's this one. I think this would be the only one. This is the only one they could possibly do.
I worry because I actually think a 12-1 Big 12 champ TCU has a better case than a 12-1 Pac-12 champ USC because the Big 12 has been so balanced and so deep, and there are no weeks off.
Yeah, but don't tell Stephen A. Smith that.
No, we won't. But I know he's watched a lot of Big 12 games. Like I know he watched Baylor, West Virginia on a Thursday night. I know he was locked in.
Only
when
one
Kyron Jones replaced Blake Shapen, I'm sure Stephen A. was very much locked in.
Do you guys? And I don't know if sympathy is too hard of a word because he gets paid a shit ton of money. But I kind of feel bad for him because they trot him out to be the face of everything all the time. And it's like, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. You put him on TV and he's got to fill a half-hour segment.
He's in on the joke now. That's the bet. When I completely
handsomely for this.
Yeah, when I completely flipped on Stephen A. Smith was when he started being more in on the joke. That of course he doesn't know anything about most of this stuff. Of course he doesn't actually have a strong opinion about most of this stuff. It's all theater.
Because doesn't TCU have the best strength of schedule right now, or strength of record?
And one of the
strength of record is the exact.
But the strength of record drops if they lose. That's the problem.
No, I know, but it refutes exactly what he was talking about, though. It was
exactly.
The one metric that you would use to determine whether or not they are playing a soft schedule, they actually are the number one.
This was the hardest record to have achieved this season.
So far.
Yeah.
Yes, and their strength of schedule is better than a bunch of the other teams we've been talking about for the college.
But it's just like, why do they trot? It's like he's a mascot.
That's you gotta have somebody.
To the original point, though, I think TCU, the only chance they have, because I do think that they go undefeated. They're in, obviously, it's a Power 5 champion, undefeated. They're making the playoff. Again, this was set up for that to be a team that makes the playoff. I don't think they can lose in the Big 12 championship game, even though that's the best opponent by far that they're going to play. If it's probably K-State. Yeah. K-State might be the best team in the Big 12 this year, despite losses.
I mean, you saw K-State manhandle Baylor last week. Like, it was ugly.
So I mean, but I don't think they could survive that because they wouldn't be a conference champ, and that would be the last game of the season. I don't think
Baylor needs to run the ball 40 times to win this game. Now, I don't know. I was going back through their numbers recently, and the games other than the Texas State game, when they've run 40 times, they've won. When they've run less than 40 times, they've lost. Now, I don't know if that's you run to win or you run because you're winning. But either way, they need to control the game on the ground or they're not going to win. So I look at what TCU did to Texas. Bijan Robinson, the most dynamic back in the league.
Yep.
And they bottled him up. I am not confident that Baylor can run the ball effectively against this defense if it's the same defense we saw last week.
Is there any worry about just wear and tear on
this
team? Because every single week they're playing in a spread that's 2.5 points.
That's why I'm so impressed with what they've done. That is why I'm so impressed with what they've done, because they are playing teams that can beat them every single week.
Bijan is not a little overrated. Yes. He's going to be one of the best running backs in the NFL in 2 years.
Yeah, that's somebody in the chat said that. No, Bijan is incredible. So the fact that they did what they did to him is pretty amazing. So I have faith that TCU can handle Baylor's run game. When Blake Shapen has been forced to throw them to a victory, it has not worked.
Yeah, and again, I just think there's a callous that TCU has from being in all of these tough games and figuring out ways to win it. I said this a couple weeks ago. I'm sticking with it. I am riding TCU until this run stops. So that means taking them whatever the spread is.
I think that's a fine call, and I am on TCU as well. We got to take a break. When we come back, though, we're headed to Big Ten. Well, no, we're going to head back to the Pac-12 because there's another big game in the Pac-12. Because
I don't think we should ever leave the Pac-12.
Listen.
Let them have their weekend, Andy.
Best coast, baby. We'll be right back. Sling TV has something for everyone. All your favorite shows on your favorite channels, all right at your fingertips. What you watch is up to you. It really just depends on what kind of mood you're in. So if you're looking for sports, Sling's got you covered with pro and college football and basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, racing, and so much more. Sling also has reality TV so you can keep up with the latest gossip with today's hottest shows on channels like TLC, Bravo, MTV, and more. And don't forget about news. Get up to date with today's most trusted sources like MSNBC, CNN, and Fox News. Feeling adventurous? Explore thousands of movies and shows on demand. What kind of mood are you in? No matter your answer, Sling has what you need. Getting Sling is easy. Sign up and start watching in just 5 minutes. You can stream on any device and record up to 50 hours with your included DVR space. And the best part, you can pause or customize your subscription at any time. So check out sling.com for special offers. Sling, the TV you love for a price you'll love. Try it today. Nobody likes using a cheap razor to shave your face. You get nicks, cuts, irritation, and then you've got these subscription services where they just keep sending you stuff, and you got to remember to cancel it, or do I need some more, and do I need to reevaluate? It's too much, just too much. That's why you got to meet Henson Shaving. Henson Shaving is a family-owned aerospace parts manufacturer. It's made parts for the International Space Station and the Mars rover, and now they're bringing precision engineering to your shaving experience. Razor blades are like diving boards. The longer the board, the more wobble. The more wobble, the more nicks, cuts, and scrapes. A bad shave isn't a blade problem. It's an extension problem. By using aerospace-grade CNC machines, Henson makes metal razors that extend just 0.0013 inches, which is less than the thickness of a human hair. That means a secure and stable blade with a vibration-free shave. It gets better. The razor has built-in channels to evacuate hair and cream, which makes clogging virtually impossible. It's time to say no to subscription and yes to a razor that will last you a lifetime. Visit hensonshaving.com/Andy to pick the razor for you and use the code Andy, and you'll get 2 years worth of blades free with your razor. Just make sure to add them to your cart. That's 100 free blades when you head to hensonshaving.com/Andy. That's hensonshaving.com/Andy. Welcome back. Let's head out west again. So after that UCLA and USC game, Utah will have a very good idea of what's up. They're playing in Oregon. They will kick off before that other game ends. But Utah has the tie break over USC. Utah's only conference loss is to UCLA. Now, we wrote Utah off as a national title contender after they lost to Florida in week 1, but they are very much alive for the Pac-12 title. Utah's a 2-point favorite to a team that lost a heartbreaker against Washington. What do we think happens in this game, guys?
Ari?
Why
are you laughing at this? What are we laughing about?
Because it kind of like reminds me of how I feel about the Ohio State-Michigan game coming up. Because it's like intrigued. It's like last year Utah just physically beat the crap out of Oregon, right?
Twice, yes.
Twice. And it was every bit as bad, if not worse, than what Michigan did to Ohio State. And the question here is Utah going to out-brawn Oregon again? And we're 10 days away from
Did they do that against USC? They certainly didn't do it against UCLA this year.
Yeah.
I actually think this could be more like the USC-Utah game where it was a shootout that Utah won.
So if that's the game this turns into, then I like Oregon. So because
do we know what the chances are of Bo Nix starting this game? Do we know yet? I don't think so.
There has been some
I think he's been practicing.
Yeah.
He's been practicing, but they're also preparing in case he can't go. I think that's obviously a factor, but I think
Ty Thompson was a 5-star. Obviously, he'll be great. Sorry.
They should have let him rip it on 4th down too.
I'm going to Oregon here. Utah has it kind of zigged and zagged on me when I was really all in on them early in the season. I told people not to write them off after the Florida game. Now they're in the top 10. They're number 10 in the country. This is not a bad loss for USC.
Them off.
Don't write them off. Don't write them off. They've also dealt with injuries, Cam Rising, and people have been banged up. Like, this is a good football team, but
yeah, they need to be Oregon, like LSU where they control their own destiny for the playoff.
Oregon has yeah, we're not getting derailed. We have to go through pick.
Guess who beat Florida, Ari? Guess who won in the swamp?
That
The Bayou Bengals.
I asked my two esteemed colleagues if we could do a shorter episode, and I derailed the show for 30 minutes yelling about the playoff.
You've done this to yourself. You're trying to get out early so you can talk to your mom who's visiting
She's out
you.
cooking dinner right now.
To quote Taylor Swift, it's Ari. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Dash Ari.
My wife does say I'm the problem. It's funny you said that. If there's an issue in the house, I'm the problem.
Well,
yes. Well, but so anyway, my point is I'm with Oregon here. I think responding from absolute heartbreak that they went through last week, they responded really well the last time they lost a game, and that one was way worse. And I just think that if this does turn into a shootout, which any Pac-12 game has the capability of turning into, I like Oregon.
I think Utah may win its second consecutive Pac-12 title.
I would have thought that ahead of the season. I thought that going into the year, Cam Rising was on my Heisman draft.
Because it's Utah to go to the playoff.
Yeah,
I did, but then I didn't realize that was so trendy on our staff, so we jinxed it.
And you didn't realize that they had to go to the swamp.
Guess who I picked?
I didn't know that. I thought they were going to win that game, and they almost did.
I have Hendon Hooker and Drake May. Feeling good.
I have Hendon Hooker with real money, so that's
that's better.
Sorry. No. I don't have Hendon Hooker with real money. I misspoke. I have Anthony Richardson with real money.
I don't like your chances there.
Hopefully not a lot of real money.
No. All right.
Not a little.
So this has the potential to be the best game of the day. So we're not
excited to stay up till 1 a.m.
Ari and I are not recording the podcast till this game's over. So if you're planning on, Nicole, you don't want to hang out.
Nicole, you want to roll live
I'll
at
be
2
awake.
a.m.
Can I just pop in for like 5 minutes at one point?
Absolutely.
Like I'll be like in a hoodie, like face mask on. Okay, great.
Yeah,
absolutely. Sweet. All right, let's go to the Big Ten, everybody. This is the game that is the linchpin in the Big Ten West right now. It sort of controls everything else. Illinois is a 17.5-point underdog at Michigan. The assumption is Illinois will lose this game, and then we can get to our Purdue and Iowa scenario.
Nicole, does Illinois have a chance to make this a game, or is it just going to be a blowout?
I do not think so. Also, not clear about the status of Chase Brown.
That is the biggest problem.
If he's not there or not 100%, I think that's going to be a problem. I also just think, I just want to see them come off the mat and see what they've got, because they just let an incredible opportunity slip through their fingers in these last 2 weeks. So I don't have
Illinois is sneaky good. Michigan is all in on going to Columbus in 10 days.
No, they were
kind of weird.
Maybe, but I just don't. I think that I thought Illinois wouldn't have done what they did the last 2 weeks. Like, I thought they were one of the more consistent teams in the country, and then they just had this in their grasp, a trip to Indianapolis, and they let it go. And Andy, I actually wanted to counter what you were saying about, like, this is the linchpin, like this is the thing that determines the West, because you could say the exact same thing about Iowa, Minnesota. You can, yes, because Purdue that opens it up for Purdue. Iowa to lose, and Iowa needs Illinois to lose. So it's wild because no one controls their own destiny. So I think that's sort of why we're all talking about Iowa a certain way, because it feels more like they do, because everyone expects Illinois to lose to Michigan. I agree that it could get weird. 17.5 points is a lot, but I don't know. I just don't have a lot. I've lost a lot of faith in Illinois, where they had been so consistent up until 3 weeks ago.
Now, I don't think this is necessarily going to matter with these two offenses. In fact, they feel like they're designed for it. But the high on Saturday in Ann Arbor is 29. I've been told that the feels like temperature at kickoff is going to be 12. You're talking winds 15 to 25 miles an hour projected for that day.
Jim Harbaugh is going to love that.
Both offenses were designed for this. So it's
Yep.
It's going to be interesting, but I do think Michigan is better at being this than Illinois is, and that's the difference. All right, let us move to Minneapolis. Floyd of Rosedale is on the line, one of the best trophies in the world. You got an entire history lesson from Scott Docterman on Tuesday about Floyd of Rosedale. Iowa is a 2.5-point dog at Minnesota.
Okay, so first of all, there's nothing that Scott Docterman loves more than talking about Iowa rivalry games. So I'm so glad that you let him do that this week. It's his favorite thing.
It was my pleasure.
Also, what did he tell you what the weather is supposed to be in that game? I think it's like possibly going to set a record low for temperatures in a Big Ten game or something like that. I might be wrong. But that could affect the over, which we also always look at. But no,
we will be discussing the total.
I think that this game is going to ultimately come down to Mo Ibrahim and Iowa's run defense. We've seen Iowa's run defense shut down Ohio State. We've seen it shut down a lot of teams. I also think this is a game where like Iowa could win with 130 yards of offense again, something like that, like the defensive points, field position. Like that's exactly how Iowa is comfortable winning. Again, the defense and special teams deserve better, but they have won games despite this offense. And it feels like it could be one of those games. Minnesota has been a little bit up and down depending on the health of their star players. I don't think we know for sure if Tanner Morgan is available, right? I don't know either in that situation. So that factors in, but Mo is still a really, really special running back. He is remarkably consistent. He's going to have to be their offense for Minnesota. And then again, I think Iowa is going to need defensive points, really good field position. I think it's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be sloppy. I think I like Minnesota in this game.
So here's your forecast. The high is 17 that day. The winds also 15 to 25 miles an hour there with higher gusts possible. That is going to be a cold game.
We've got a commenter.
I've ever had in my life was in that stadium.
A comment in the chat here from Oh No. Wind chill of -3 at kickoff. LOL.
Oh boy.
The coldest I've ever been covering a game was Iowa, Boston College at the Pinstripe Bowl, which is outdoor press box, like December 28th. I lasted 1 quarter in the open air press box and my fingers froze too much. Like they were getting really pink and tingly and I was getting real worried, even in gloves, and I had to move inside. That is the coldest I've ever been. So this is going to be a tough one. Yeah. This is going to be a tough one. But I like Minnesota because I actually
What's that?
I was going to say I think Purdue is going to
born into this.
I was very comfortable in this. Minnesota should be very comfortable in this. Actually, wait, I'm going to talk myself into flipping this. PJ Fleck has never beat Iowa. PJ Fleck has never beat Iowa. Maybe I am going to flip myself here. I'm going to flip.
Are you taking the Gophers?
No, I literally was going to take them.
Guys. Iowa's winning the Big Ten West this year.
I think Purdue might.
They're not. It's going to be Iowa. I promise you.
You might be right.
I'm going big on Iowa.
This is amazing. So Brian Ferentz lifetime contract after this? Is that how that works?
Well, that's the problem. I think Iowa fans.
Well, we won the Big Ten West. What are you complaining about?
Yep, Kirk has already said that.
Your number in this game, 32.5. Under.
Minus 3.
7-3.
-3 degrees with wind chill. Under.
32.5.
I just love how every week it's like, this could be a record low. It's every Iowa game every single week.
This is brutal. At the top of the Big Ten, Ohio State is a 27.5 point favorite going to Maryland. Do we really need to talk about this after what Penn State did to Maryland last week? This isn't 2018 all over again. There's no overtime game coming up, right?
Maryland's fallen off. They are not a good team in November, and part of it's the schedule.
I was at that game, and I want to talk myself into that happening again.
That game was insane. That's one of the weirdest games I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I mean, that was the end of the era.
Our pal, Emily Giambalvo tweeted today, I think was the anniversary of that game, and tweeted the screenshot of what was available and what didn't happen.
I stayed in a Washington, D.C. hotel that night. That was super nice. And it was a Marriott. And I wish I remembered which one it was.
The Marriott City Center in Washington, D.C.
I think that's what it was.
Hotel.
It was like so comfortable. And it was a cold day that day. It was just a disaster of a game. And then I went home and I just like snuggled up in that bed and I slept like a baby.
All right. We got a few more games to get to. I'm going to give you an ACC game that is a great helmet game that I fear will not be competitive at all. And it's one of those that if I showed you that at the beginning of the season, said this game is not going to be competitive, you'd be like, are you crazy? But that's where we're at. We'll be right back. These days, every potential new hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps find the right people for your team faster and for free. It's so easy to create a free job post on LinkedIn Jobs, and then you add your job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and more. You want to finish the year strong, you need the right team members that might help you do that. That's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Andy. That's linkedin.com/Andy to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. linkedin.com/Andy. ReserveBar.com is your online source for premium and luxury spirits, wine, and champagne. And now, Reserve Bar offers same-day delivery. Reserve Bar has a vast lineup of rare and hard-to-find bottles, premium brands, celebrity spirits, and limited releases that you won't find at your local store. And no one does spirits gifting better than Reserve Bar. Looking for an elevated gift? Reserve Bar has you covered, and you can have that gift delivered right to their door. Even better, you can turn that spirits gift into a cherished memento with custom engraving. It's perfect for birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, you name it. You're getting into home bartending? Reserve Bar has everything you need. Spirits for the shelves, sure, but they also have every barware tool that might be necessary when you're throwing a great party. ReserveBar.com also has barware, glassware, cocktail recipes, and more. Also, ready-to-drink cocktails if you don't feel like mixing them. So, you need something for a party tonight? Reserve Bar offers same-day delivery straight to your door. Did you forget a birthday gift? Same-day delivery to the rescue with Reserve Bar. Visit reservebar.com today and use the promo code Andy to save $10 off your purchase of $75 or more on spirits, wine, or pre-made cocktails. But only when you use our special offer at reservebar.com with the code Andy. That's reservebar.com, code Andy. This offer expires December 31st, 2022. Welcome back. So if I'd have told you the Miami-Clemson game would come, Miami's a 19.5-point underdog, and that feels a little low. And we don't think Clemson's great. That is not what we expect out of this game.
This is like a Clemson team we don't think is making the playoff.
Right, exactly. Might win the ACC, but we don't think it's going to make the playoff. And we think this line is too low.
Yeah, no,
something has gone horribly wrong for Mario Cristobal's first year. If someone tells you that 8 months ago, that's what you say.
Yes, and it kind of has. I mean, it's not just quarterbacks banged up, all that stuff. They're just not very good, and I guess that's his mandate is to improve the roster. And I'm sure he goes to the guys that they're recruiting, like Cormani McClain. He's the number 2 overall recruit in the country, yep. Ari, that just committed there, and says, "You're starting next year." It's basically the Charlie Weiss recruiting pitch that we all killed Charlie Weiss for. Like, I think Mario says it in a more diplomatic way.
Yeah,
Charlie Weiss called it a pile of crap.
yeah. I think you take Clemson.
But yeah, Florida's over here flipping everybody. You never know what's going to happen in the end.
The Florida fans are very much in there. They got their chests out after the Jaden Rashada flip.
Yeah, we're feeling ourselves in Gainesville.
Now they're calling the Florida State and Miami classes shopping lists at this point. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. That's going to be that's a nice side story.
It must be nice for them after the years they went through the last 4 years to feel this.
Yeah. Well, let's see it all get converted into production on the field, and then we can talk about all of that in a little bit. But we will talk about another SEC school, and that is the Georgia Bulldogs, which did sign lots of top 100 players. They are a 22.5-point favorite at Kentucky. The Wildcats just lost to Vandy at home. May God have mercy on their souls in this game.
I'm done tailing Kentucky here. Georgia's going to,
Yep.
Finish
Kentucky,
him from Mortal
Kentucky
Kombat.
Is designed to get mushed by Georgia.
Yeah.
This is going to be a classic mushing.
And Georgia is going to mush a lot of people. I mean, I feel like it's going to be like a South Carolina game, which was forever ago, but it just feels like it's going to be that type of game.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Elsewhere in the SEC, this game, if you remember last year, was a face melter. Complete shootout. Lane Kiffin basically apologized at the end. And he won. So Ole Miss is a 2.5 point favorite at Arkansas. I got a feeling this could be the same game. I don't know. It depends on if KJ Jefferson can play. But I think either, Hornsby or Fortin could lead Arkansas to points against this defense.
Yeah, I think that's the concern. I mean, it just feels like Arkansas has been so inconsistent this year and rather just disappointing since the beginning of the year. Like, can they get this thing rolling enough? I mean, again, the defense, they should. But don't you feel better about Ole Miss's offense? Like, don't you feel like, okay, even if they're not able to throw the ball or all around, or there is pressure from the defensive front, like they'll be able to run the ball. They'll be able to do something. I feel like a little bit better or more faith in the reliability of Ole Miss's offense.
Yeah, I feel better with Quinshon Judkins and the question is how much of Zach Evans, because Zach Evans got hurt and then we haven't seen him much. So
yeah,
it looks like KJ is going to play in this game. Sam Pittman said that he's practiced most every day this week. So although they kept it a pretty good secret last week.
They did
that he wasn't going to play. So, but we'll see. Arkansas should be able to move the ball with Rocket Sanders too. It shouldn't. If KJ's playing, you have to be worried about KJ running the ball, and that mesh with Rocket Sanders becomes more dangerous. So, I think this is going to be a fun game. I think this might be the most entertaining game that doesn't have any impact on a conference title or anything this weekend. This is the one that we may be on Twitter. Like, did you see that? I think there's a good chance
if Twitter's still up. Yeah.
Well, if Twitter is still up, and also if Lane, I also would like to know if Lane Kiffin got Taylor Swift concert tickets, because I feel like that could ultimately impact the way he calls the game as well. Well,
yes. And one of the dudes at my gym got 3, one for his girlfriend and one for her friend. And the face value was $450. He's selling the other one. Do you know what he's selling it for?
$1,500.
$7,000.
What?
Yep.
Someone bought it at that price point?
Someone is buying it for $7,000. Yes.
Wow.
It's a floor seat at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa.
Wow. I got like 300 level tickets at SoFi. Actually, I'm flying to LA for it. And I gave them to some of our colleagues to come with me. Like Audrey Snyder, our Penn State writer. We love her. She's coming to LA. We're going to the show. Thanks
for inviting me. I appreciate it.
You're going to make memories that'll last a lifetime, but you could have made a lot of cash.
I know. Now I'm a little bit regretting this. I gave away.
I'm regretting that I wasn't invited.
You would have hated it. Come on.
I would have gone. It would have been nice to feel wanted. It's okay. I'll just stay home. Let me know how it goes, though.
I do want to see Taylor Swift at some point, but I'm gonna wait until she moves into even bigger stadiums.
I should have sold like 2 tickets and just paid my rent for the year.
Just tell Audrey she's out. She'll figure it out.
Yeah, he's out.
She listens to the show.
Should we
wait
until this posts tomorrow, and then just wait, and I'll just keep refreshing my texts all day for her to listen to this and realize she's no longer invited?
Oh,
just got axed.
I think there's a special place in hell for people who do that.
I agree. I think there should be ways to not.
You know what should happen? Taylor Swift should write a song about you. Like, that's what I got down the rabbit hole of who were all these songs about. And
like, you think she should write about the people who gobble up her tickets and then immediately resell them to try to make money?
Absolutely. Like, it should be worse than what she said about Jake Gyllenhaal in All Too Well. Sure. She really was mad at Jake Gyllenhaal.
She was, and then also like John Mayer twisting the knife again.
Yeah. How do you stand somebody up on their 21st birthday? How do you even do that? That's just wrong. I'm mad for her.
It's supposed to be fun turning 21.
It is. That's what Dad said.
When I turned 21, I was in the Mirage Hotel in Las Vegas, and I turned
Shocked.
21 at midnight.
Shocked.
And I
When I
got off
turned-
the elevator. I got off the elevator, and a
Mhm.
person vomited right as I was walking off the elevator, and the vomit went right past my face. And I did like a Matrix type thing, and I think a little got on
Did
my
it-
shirt.
So instead
Okay.
of bullet time, it was vomit time.
That's like 21. I'm about to go hit the tables for the first time, and somebody literally projectile vomited towards my face right at midnight. I'll never forget that.
I almost had a disaster happen for mine. I was in DC as an intern and was staying at this like dorm that they had blocked off rooms for like undergrad students at Michigan who were doing internships in DC. So there was like a fire drill or something at like, midnight, whatever. It was like the week before my birthday. And we came out and like people were just we're just looking at IDs. People are turning 21. So people with fake IDs were going into bars to celebrate and all these different things. So I pulled out my real ID and my friend almost dropped it. It almost fell in the sewer. Like it was
good Lord.
on the grate. It landed flat on the grate. And I was like, I almost could not have celebrated my birthday. It had nothing to do. I didn't live there. Like I didn't have something to go get a new license in that next week. So that was almost pretty terrible. But it was also funny because I did go to a bar called like the 51st State for my 21st birthday. And we'd been going there because it was around the corner. So each time someone's birthday was, we'd go there. And there was one time where the bouncer wasn't letting my friend in until midnight. And like a bunch of us were in there with fake IDs waiting and they wouldn't let him in. And he was actually turning 21. So
wow,
That's funny.
That's a good time.
It's supposed to
Good
be
memories.
fun. Now, I went to a bar called the Purple Porpoise in Gainesville. It no longer exists. It's now been 2 or 3 different things since then. But there were 3 sections. The Purple Porpoise was where you ate your wings. The Lavender Mullet was the pool hall, and the dance floor was called the Blowhole. Every night they played Akinyele's Put It in Your Mouth. It was that kind of
course.
place.
Mhm.
And I believe the night ended for me in the bathtub at my apartment, going, if this is how I go, all right.
Yeah, I think
At
we all
least-
kind
at
of were
least-
in that same.
At least someone.
Both of
didn't
you guys
vomit at
had
you.
drinking stories, and mine was just like I couldn't wait to gamble.
And- It's like a full circle podcast here, going right back
Yeah,
to the
exactly.
beginning about the degenerate.
Exactly.
yeah.
So one more game, guys. And it's one of those, you probably haven't given it 1 second of thought this week. It's Bedlam. They're playing Bedlam this week.
I mean, I think it's kind of interesting just to see like if Mike Gundy's going to have his team fired up to like just
Oh, yeah.
play this game in a certain way that just would make for compelling television.
Oklahoma State
Well,
is
and
a 7.5
they're-
point underdog in Norman.
They're also the ones that are way more pissed about this game going away. They're not the ones who are choosing to leave a conference and not play it. So I think there's still a lot of spice there. There's only a couple of these left
Oklahoma would play it, but Oklahoma State does not want to play it.
because they're
Oklahoma would
upset
be happy to
because
schedule it.
Oklahoma just
Yeah.
changed conferences without protecting this game. So yeah, so I get
Yeah.
it. I think it could be entertaining. I think it could be fun. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird that it has no major implications.
Think
Yeah.
about this last year. We're going into that game, what happens to Oklahoma, Big 12 championship implications. Is Lincoln Riley going to remember going into the game? We're like, is Lincoln Riley going to go to LSU?
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
had no idea
That's how we
what was
ended-
about to happen.
We ended the night with him denying that he was going to go to LSU.
Not lying.
That's how that night ended. Not lying, but that is how that night ended.
That's funny.
Golly,
I'm gonna go. I would take Oklahoma State in the points.
Hey, I don't think that's a bad one because I think you're right. I think both you guys are right. The emotion is on Oklahoma State's side. Oklahoma feels very discombobulated in the past few weeks. So I'll take the Cowboys too. Guys, this is going to be a fun weekend. Ari, I can't wait to stay up very, very late with you. It's going to be amazing.
My mom's in town, so I'm going to sleep in on Saturday.
Good for you.
She's going to watch the baby. We're going to have some backup here.
Look at
I'm just going to maybe sleep until like right before kickoff of the first games for the first time in a year.
You're going to have some like
I'm really
biscuits
happy.
and bacon
I'm happy.
right
I don't
there.
know,
Right when you wake up. That sounds amazing.
All I care about is sleeping for 10 hours.
I remember
I'm-
those days.
I don't care what's on the table. Just let me sleep.
Well, I'm happy for you. I hope you can sleep. Hopefully no nightmares.
Oh, the nightmare already happened when you didn't invite me to the concert.
No, the nightmare happened when Bowling
hope you keep
Green
thinking
scored
about
the other
that.
night.
Yeah, I've had a bad week.
But we know it's going to be a great Saturday. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you guys after the games.